Hey, what's happening, my friends? It's another beautiful day in the life of a human being, and I hope that you're having a beautiful day as well. Why not? You're here in this planet. Um, just very grateful to be alive. It's been quite a while since I've been um, working at overcoming a brain tumor. I was diagnosed in 2013 with an oligodendroglioma grade 2 brain tumor. The way I found out about it was that uh, I discovered through epileptic seizures, some really terrible epileptic seizures that landed me in the hospital, and uh, about a week later found out that I had a brain biopsy performed on me. I didn't really remember much of what was going on during that time in ICU, being switched from one hospital to another that had a neuro unit, and my brother was there. I got some bits and pieces filled in from talking to him, and some stuff kind of flashed back. Definitely some post-traumatic stress disorder was suffered from that experience. But I've been resilient and positive throughout. There's been some definite troughs, more peaks than troughs, but definitely some pretty significant troughs and some tough times. The epilepsy has been an ongoing issue. Most recently, about a week and a half ago, I was into the emergency room at the advisement of my neurologist after I had suffered my first two grand mal seizures in about 5 years. Um, I'd been tapering down off of a few medications. I was very low on the last medication that I was taking, which was levetiracetam extended release capsules. I was on two 500 milligram pills of those a day, which was very low considering I was on six of them a day at one point, and also four 600 milligram pills of oxcarbazepine and some benzodiazepines, levetiracetam, and I'm sorry, not levetiracetam, lorazepam, which is also known as Ativan, and clonazepam. So worked really hard through diet, meditation, exercise, breath work, trying to sleep right, trying to do everything right, keep my heart open with gratitude. And you know what? Moving into this new place where I live now, after being in my old spot for 5 years, really there was a lot of stress involved. I didn't want to have to stress about it. I had every intention of taking it with a grain of salt, but you know what? It happened and stress crept in. And I'm also, a lot of things are changing in my life. So change, whether positive or negative or whatever, it does have an impact on your health. So it's good to try to reduce stress in every way possible. And through the methods that I just mentioned, the breath work, the mindfulness, healthy diet, and sleep routine, this can be achieved. So I'm grateful things didn't end up worse than they were, and I'm grateful that I'm able to still have function of my right side of my body, which has been affected through this process, seeing that I have a tumor in my left parietal lobe of my brain. Talking to my friend Pablo today, who is wise beyond his years, and I take everything he says under great advisement. It might be time to be having a more in-depth conversation with my tumor. Might sound strange to say, talking with your tumor? What are you talking about? Well, in a sense, communicating with your own biomechanics, your own physics, physiology, your own body. So the tumor is a part of my body. It is a part of me. And to say, screw cancer, screw my tumor, screw this and that negative energy is not going to lead to a constructive outcome. So I have to focus on, this is the way it is right now. The last scan that I had conducted upon me through MRI indicated that the tumor was still there. It hadn't shrunk any. It had changed a little bit, which is normal because the brain is pretty amorphous. It is a sponge and made about 90% out of water, so it's gonna have some changes. But talking to the tumor is an important thing to do, I think. And Pablo said that to me, and I'm like, yeah, I've done that. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I kind of have been. I've been doing a lot of the heart-brain cohesiveness guided meditations by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've been getting into some deep meditative states where I'm focusing on manifesting, visualizing the space where the tumor exists and targeting it into becoming a healthy and functioning area of my body. And just being grateful and letting go of anything that could be a blockage to my energy. I'm just as pleased as pumpkin pie that I have what I have in my life right now, and for the lessons that this experience has brought to me. And to ignore that would be silly. People get sick a lot with cancer, go through the experience, and their only takeaway a lot of the time is fuck cancer. Well, yeah, obviously, fuck anything that's not good and helpful. But is that solving the underlying issues? What is the root cause of cancer? It could be environmental toxins. It could be exposures to whatever. A lot of it, though, I think, is emotional toxins and emotional stress. And I can, when my friend Pablo asked me to, think about where the tumor came from, not like the doctor would tell me, you got dealt a shit card, is literally what he said to me when I was diagnosed. And I'm like, okay, that means, it was just like you were born with some recessive gene, or this was going to happen regardless. I don't accept that. But you look at the number of cancer diagnoses in the world, in our country, our society today, it's far, far outnumbers anything even 10, 20 years ago. 1 in 2 people, or even more than 1 in 2 people, are estimated to be at risk to be diagnosed for having cancer. People alive today, so look around you. More than half of those people are going to get cancer. And comedian Jim Gaffigan had a stand-up routine where he made a joke about, oh, so-and-so died. What kind of cancer was it? Because we kind of expect cancer as normal now because so many people are affected by it. Who doesn't know at least a couple people who have cancer if they don't have it themselves? And again, this ties back to environmental toxins. Could be, exposure to harmful waves. It could be from toxins in the soil, in the air, in the water, or just the culture that we live in today, a high-stress society, high input, low output society, where everyone's struggling tremendously to keep their head above water. And it seems like the disparity between the haves and the have-nots in this capitalistic society that we live in today is making it really hard for a lot of people and to pay the bills. And when you have any sort of disease or ailment, to try to get medical help when you don't have good insurance is ridiculous. I could go on another tangent about that, but I won't. But what I want to say is that a lot of cancer, to my mind, might be caused just from the stress that we put on our own body, our own cells. To think it is the first step to creating it, whether that's positive, negative, thinking about what you want to do. Like, I want to reach my arm up over my head. I think it first and then I do it. There's a thought that comes into play, whether it's conscious or unconscious. And the same thing goes for any stressors. If we're putting stress on our cells, we're actually creating disease within ourselves. But the inverse is true of health. To think health, to be mindful, to be grateful, to be present. These make all the differences, either positively or negatively. So just keep in mind that you do have a lot of impact and power over your body. There's other choices other than just how you think and feel, but what plays into that tremendously is how you live your life. Diet, exercise, mindfulness, and sleep are key. And a few quick things that I want to tell you about that has come to my forefront of my attention, and I've been saving this till the end of the video so you stick around. Things to take if you have any sort of depression, anxiety, stress, or sleep trouble. Some natural herbs that you could find. They call it Ayurvedic in the Indian medical naturopathic practice. So food, let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food, as Hippocrates says. Here are 4 things that you could be implementing into your diet multiple times per day that would greatly impact your life if you're feeling stressed, sick, depressed, having trouble with sleep, or just having anything that you need to address, or if you feel okay and want to sustain health. I recommend these 4 things in your diet. And these are not things that you're going to hear very many places, but these are things that have greatly worked for me. 1, turmeric root. I prefer it as the whole root, either ground up, chopped up, decocted and boiled as a tea, or in powder form if you can't find it as a root. I would recommend making sure it's not irradiated, that it is actually an organic, and preferably sustainably sourced. Turmeric root has amazing blood cleansing abilities. It's a great anti-inflammatory, and when taken in conjunction with coconut oil, which I would prefer extra virgin coconut oil, nothing cut with any cheap oils, and black peppercorn, ground, organic. Nothing can really get in and clean you out like that. I recommend taking it every day. You see how clear my skin is? That's because I take this every day. And the black pepper and the coconut is awesome too, but those aren't part of the big 4. So turmeric root every day. The other one, maca root. Maca root comes in powdered form. It's great. A lot of times you can find it roasted. It's a member of the cruciferous family, which also includes broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower. But it doesn't come looking like that or tasting like that. A lot of times they mix it with carob powder or peppermint or other supplemental things. You can find it at health food stores in the bulk section. I find it at People's Co-op here in town. The less packaging, probably the better, because you don't want to be buying into all the plastics and stuff. But maca, M-A-C-A, it's a South American herb. that you can find all over the place now in the United States. It really helps reduce stress, and it also has amazing anti-inflammatory and anti-anxiety properties. Look more into it, but these are just some things that I've learned that I know about. And maca root powder, it tastes awesome if you put it in a smoothie. I like to make a smoothie with avocados, a couple of those into my Vitamix with some maca root powder. Put in some shredded coconut. If you don't like coconut, you can use any sort of nut. If you don't like nuts at all, hemp seeds are awesome. Oat milk, and some frozen strawberries and blueberries in there. Grind it up. Phenomenal. Those are two right there that I recommend. Turmeric and maca root. Another one that I highly recommend is Tulsi, which is Tulsi tea, which is also known as holy basil. It is an amazing anti-inflammatory and relaxing Ayurvedic herb, food, supplement, and it's wonderful in tea form. You can buy it in bags, Tulsi tea. You can find it in any store. Some of them come with turmeric blended in if you want to do it that way. Eating something where you eat the whole plant is probably the best way to ingest it. So ground up in capsules, something like that. But tea's great too. Tea, I always love a nice warm cup of tea with all of these things in it that I'm mentioning. Always tastes really great. So they've been using Tulsi in India for a long time. It's been known for thousands of years to be great. Some of this stuff is just catching on as a fad or a superfood here in the United States, the Western world, but look for holy basil / Tulsi tea. It's amazing. And the last but not least thing that I recommend of the big four, see if I can remember this one, lion's mane. Lion's mane is a mushroom. It is, if you see it, it looks like, it gets the name because it kind of looks like a lion's mane. It's white. It comes in like almost like hairs. It's a beautiful looking fungi, and I get it in powdered form at the bulk at the co-op. They sell it in pills. You know, lots of packaging. You can buy it in bottles and supplement forms. But if you can just find it, a spoonful of it in a smoothie or a tea or anything else, you barely notice it. It tastes great, but it doesn't have enough taste to overpower anything either. And it is proven to have a great sedentary effect on the central nervous system. So if you suffer from stress, hypertension, high blood pressure, it also helps with liver function, as do all of these. All four of these are what are called adaptogens, which means they help your body balance. So if your thyroid is going crazy, if your hormones are going crazy, if your digestive tract feels uptight because of the nerve ganglia that we all have in our stomach, why the stomach is so often called the second brain, these things will help you severely. Now, just doing supplements is not going to solve your problems. Just sleeping enough is not going to solve your problems. So that's a huge one I recommend strongly. And, you know, meditating is huge. I recommend it. It's under implemented in Western society. It's catching on, and there's a fad to it, but just taking time out of your day to go within. There's so much external stimuli always out there. To go within yourself, go into your breath, calm yourself, makes a huge difference on your health. You don't realize how much of your health is not just impacted by exercise and diet. It's also impacted by mindfulness and sleep. So these are a few things that I hope help you if you're watching this, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm having a beautiful day, crushing it on the daily, loving my life, and I hope you're loving your life too. And spread joy to other people if you're feeling it. Pass it along. Making other people happy and helping other people become happy is the key to your own happiness. Gratitude, my friends. Peace out.